Morning students, how are you? All had your lunch? Breakfast? Okay. Last class we have seen about the digestive system, isn't it so? How the food that we eat is getting digested and stored in the tissues. And why you are eating food? To grow, then to get energy. Yes. That is the main thing. We must have energy now to play, to fight and to study. For that we need energy now. So that energy we are getting from food. For that only we need it. We need energy. For that only we are eating food. Okay. And the food is stored in the tissues we are seeing. How we are getting energy from the stored food? That we are going to see this class. Okay. For that, one important system is helping us. Important system is helping us to get energy from the stored food from the tissues. Okay. That system is respiratory system. Okay. So if you want to get energy, if you want to do all our work energetically, we must have strong respiratory system. Nowadays all are talking about respiratory system, right? Lungs problems, oxygen supply, all these often we can hear this terms. Okay, now let us discuss about this respiratory system. Before we start this respiratory system, we are going to see what is respiration. If we ask what is respiration, 5th standard student, taking in oxygen, giving out carbon dioxide, let's say. That is not respiration. Okay? Respiration is a process of oxidizing the food and releasing energy. The food that has been stored in the tissues should get oxidized. Then only the energy is released. Okay? So that is done by respiration. That process is called respiration. How this oxygen is supplied to the tissues? That is through a process called breathing. That is a process called breathing. Okay? Through breathing, by breathing, the air is going in. Along with the air, oxygen is supplied to the tissues and the food is oxidized. We are getting energy. That energy is stored in each and every cell inside the mitochondria. Cytology, you have studied about the structure of the cell. Mitochondria is one of the cell organelle, powerhouse of the cell. Correct? Why it is called powerhouse of the cell? Because it is storing energy. From where the energy comes? The energy comes from oxidizing the food that has been stored in the tissues. Okay, so that is why we are calling mitochondria as the powerhouse of the cell. Okay, so that process, breathing, is sending air, supplying the oxygen to the tissues. Okay, so that process, respiration is a process of oxidizing the food and releasing energy. Breathing is a process through which the air is sent in to supply oxygen to the tissues. Okay. That is called breathing. Air is going in and coming out. That is called breathing. In order to understand this respiration and breathing, and in order to find out how the oxygen is supplied to the tissues and food is oxidized and the energy is released, we must know two things. One is the structure of the respiratory system, anatomy, and functioning of the respiratory system. That is physiology. Okay, so two things we must know. First, if you take the anatomy of the respiratory system, external nostril, it leads to internal nostril. You see the upper jaw with the tongue, you can feel. Like this, if you do, you can feel two bones. They are nothing but internal nostril. Okay, external nostril, internal nostril. Internal nostril leads to pharynx, a common opening called pharynx. This pharynx has two divided into two pipe. Okay, one is windpipe, the other one is footpipe. Okay, windpipe and footpipe. Windpipe is called trachea. And the beginning of this trachea, there is a opening called, that opening from the pharynx leads to the trachea is larynx. Larynx is voice box. It is also called as voice box. It is covered by a flap-like structure, epiglottis, because whenever the food is taken into this pharynx and it should pass to the foot pipe. If it passes into the windpipe, we will get choked. Okay, we cannot breathe. So, in order to avoid the entry of the food into the windpipe, that is trachea, the epiglottis is preventing. Okay, this trachea is a tubular structure. It is supported by cartilaginous rings. Supported by cartilaginous rings. And this cartilaginous rings keeps the trachea as a tubular structure. Okay. This trachea, as it passes to the chest cavity, it divides into two. They are called bronchi. And bronchi enter into the lungs. We have a pair of lungs in the chest cavity, which are protected by the ribs. Okay, pair of lungs. And if the lungs are kept in the chest cavity, the bronchi enter into the lungs. If you take the lungs, it is made up of number of air sacs called alveoli. Number of air sacs called alveoli. Okay. Before starting this entry, we will see the external structure of the lungs. Lungs are protected by a membrane, double-walled membrane called pleura. And in between these two membrane, pleural membrane, the space is there. That space is filled with pleural fluid. Okay. Then the capacity of the lung. If we spread the lung, we can cover a tennis court. That much surface area it has. Human lung can cover the tennis court. That much is the surface area of the lung. But it is kept compact inside the ribs. In between within the ribs, it is kept compact. Okay. Then the bronchi, after entering into the lungs, it divided into number of branches called bronchioles. At the end of each bronchiole, air sacs are seen. These air sacs are called alveoli. Okay. These air sacs are covered by thin blood capillaries. Blood capillaries are very, very thin. One cell thickness. Okay. So if you rub your eye, it will become red. You can see red line. That each red line, each line is a capillary. That much thin layer. Okay. So these capillaries carry blood. Okay. Then these lungs are separated from the chest cavity, from the abdomen by a flat muscular sheet. Flat muscular sheet. Okay, that is called diaphragm. External nostrils. They are protected by a mucus secretion to prevent the entry of insects and dust. Okay. Then internal nostril, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchiole, alveoli, lungs. Lungs are covered by pleura, and the lungs are separated from the abdominal cavity by a muscular sheet called diaphragm. The lungs are protected by the ribs. Protected by the ribs. the anatomy of the respiratory system. We have seen the parts of the respiratory system. Okay. Now we are going to see the physiology of respiration. Respiratory system, how it functions. Okay. Two things it involves. First thing, oxygen is supplied. Oxygen is supplied into the body. Okay. The second one is oxygen is supplied to the tissues and the food is oxidized. Two steps. Okay. So one step, the oxygen is supplied, enter into the body, that is breathing. Okay. And that supplied oxygen is oxidizing the food, that is respiration. So breathing is supply of air in and out. And respiration is oxidizing the food, supply of oxygen to the food and oxidizing the food, releasing energy. Okay, that's the difference between respiration and breathing. Okay, now we are going to see the physiology of respiration. Okay. Now we are going to see the physiology of respiration. Okay. Before we start the physiology, let us do some exercise. Okay, all are going to do now with me. Ready? Now you have to keep your hand on your ribs. You can feel the ribs. Can you feel the ribs? Okay. Now I will say breathe in, breathe out. When I say breathe in, you have to breathe in. When I say breathe out, you have to breathe out. And you have to tell me the movements of the ribs. When the ribs are going away, when the ribs are coming inside, moving inside. Okay, shall we start? Okay. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay. Whenever we say breathe in, the ribs are going away. Okay, moving outward. Whenever we say breathe in, they are coming closer. Correct? Am I correct? Yes. Now next exercise is, here you have to keep your hand like this. Here we have we have diaphragm here. A flat muscular tissue. Okay, a flat muscular sheet. Diaphragm. That also involves in breathing. Okay. Now you have to keep your hand here like this. And whenever I say breathe in, you have to breathe in. Whenever I say breathe out, you have to do breathe out. And you must tell me when this diaphragm is becoming flat, when it is going up. Okay, shall we start? Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, whenever we say breathe in, it is becoming flat. Whenever we say breathe out, it is going up. Correct? Right? Okay. Now we are going to see, with the help of this exercise, how this process of breathing takes place. First process is breathing. Breathing only, through that process only the air is going in and coming out. Okay. 12th lesson, if we ask them what is respiration, taking in oxygen, giving out carbon dioxide, they will say. Okay. That means only oxygen is going in and only carbon dioxide is coming out. No, it's not like that. The air goes in and comes out. Okay. The air that goes in contains oxygen or hydrogen, carbon dioxide, everything. The air that comes out also contains oxygen, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, everything. But the air that goes in contains more oxygen, less carbon dioxide, whereas the air that comes out from our body will have less oxygen and more carbon dioxide. That's the difference. Okay. So air is going in and coming out during the process of breathing. How it is going in and coming out? It is not asking us any permission. Now only when I say breathe in, breathe out, you are feeling that air is going in and coming out. Breathing, you are breathing in. Yes, you are breathing out. Only during exercise you are feeling. But I am telling you, from birth till death, this air is going in and coming out without a permission. Okay? How it is not out there, this air, no? It will enter in and go out without a permission. It's our own body, no? If the air is not going and coming out, we have no life, because our brain tissue, without the supply of oxygen, our brain tissue cannot survive more than 6 minutes. Only 4 to 6 minutes the brain tissue can survive without the supply of oxygen. More than 6 minutes, if the oxygen is not being supplied to the brain tissue, the brain will die. The brain tissue will die. Okay? So this air must go in and come out. How it is going in and coming out without asking us? It is due to air pressure. Okay? Due to air pressure. The difference in air pressure. In chemistry, you would have studied the gases move from higher pressure to low pressure. That is one characteristic features of gases. Okay? So this air, gaseous state, it moves from higher pressure to lower pressure. Okay? So where the higher pressure, where the air gets high pressure, where the air gets low pressure, what are the two places we have this air? One is atmospheric air, the other one is the air that is there in the alveoli. External nostril, internal nostril, trachea, bronchi, bronchiole, alveoli. Alveoli is the air sac seen in the lungs that contains air. Okay? And the external our body, atmosphere. Atmosphere contains air. So the pressure in the atmospheric air and the alveolar air differs. Then from the higher pressure to the lower pressure, the air goes in and comes out. That's the secret. Okay? Now how the pressure is differing? How the pressure is differing? We are not giving any pressure to the alveoli. We are not giving, but our body, the process of breathing, increases the pressure and decreases the pressure of air which is present in the alveoli. Okay? How it is increased or decreased in the alveoli. Now when we breathe in, I said the breathing process has two steps: inhalation, exhalation. Inspiration, expiration. Inhalation, air is going in. Okay? During this inhalation, breathe in, what happens? Our ribs move away. How they are going away from the body? They apart from each other. The ribs the lungs are protected by ribs. No, the rib contains, covered by two membranes, two muscles, internal intercostal muscles, external intercostal muscles. Okay, internal intercostal muscles, external intercostal muscles. Higher classes you study this. Okay, so when the internal intercostal muscles contracts, what happens? Those ribs move away. So when the rib moves away, more space is provided on the sides. Okay, same way, when we breathe in, this diaphragm will become flat. The diaphragm will become flat. So more space is provided at the bottom of the lung also. So the chest cavity, the space in the chest cavity is increased. The lungs, already I told you, we can cover even the tennis court. That much space, surface area it has. Okay, so whenever it gets chance, it will spread. Okay, so now the lungs are getting space on the side as well as at the bottom. So what happens? They spread. When they spread, occupy the space, more space, the alveoli also will become more. The volume of the air inside the alveoli will be the same, but the space is increased. So since the space is increased, the pressure in the alveolar air decreases. Okay? The when we compare with the pressure of the atmospheric air. So automatically the air from the higher pressure rushes through the external nostril, internal nostril, trachea, bronchi, bronchiole, alveoli. Okay, so it reaches the alveoli. Alveoli are covered by the blood capillaries. The blood capillaries contains blood. The blood has RBC, red blood corpuscles. These red blood corpuscles are red in color because of a pigment called hemoglobin. This hemoglobin, the main function of hemoglobin is carrying oxygen. Okay, so this hemoglobin absorbs the oxygen from the alveoli. The oxygen diffuses into the blood by the RBC. RBC absorbs the oxygen from the alveoli. Okay. Then, so the oxygen content in the alveolar air is less. That is compensated due to the metabolic activities. Carbon dioxide as a byproduct. It is formed in our body as an excretory product. Carbon dioxide, CO2. Okay. This is also carried by the blood. Okay. So the oxygen comes out from the alveoli, enter into the blood. From the blood, the carbon dioxide diffuses into the alveoli. Okay, so the alveolar air now contains less oxygen, more carbon dioxide. Correct? Okay. Now, expiration, exhalation. Now what happens? The ribs, when we breathe out, the ribs move closer. Okay. Due to the contraction of external intercostal muscles, the rib moves closer. So press the lungs on the side. Okay. Then the diaphragm becomes dome shaped. The diaphragm is raised above. So the diaphragm is pressing the lungs from the bottom. The ribs are pressing the lungs from the sides. So the lung is being pressed on the sideways as well as from the bottom. So if you have a balloon filled with air and leaving the opening without tying, if you press the balloon, what will happen? The air comes out. Okay. Same like this, since the lungs are being pressed, what are there in the lungs? The alveoli. Okay. They are being pressed. Because the alveoli is pressed, alveoli are pressed, the air present in the alveoli become more pressure. It contains now higher pressure compared with the atmospheric air. So automatically from the higher pressure, it comes out. It comes alveoli from the bronchiole, bronchiole from the bronchi, bronchi from the trachea, trachea from the internal nostril from the external nostril from the outside. Okay, it comes out. So the pressure difference only makes the air to go in and come out. Okay, whenever the air goes in, the RBCs are taking this oxygen. Okay, so this RBC in the blood, they are carrying the oxygen to the tissues. They are supplying the oxygen to the tissues. What are stored in the tissues? Food. The food that has been stored in the tissue oxidized. Okay, so energy is released. Due to the oxidation of the food, energy is released. Okay, and after finishing this, we are going to see the types of respiration also. This is oxidation takes place with the help of oxygen. Okay, another respiration is there without the help of oxygen, oxidation of the food, releasing of energy is there. Okay, so two types of respirations. One is aerobic, another one is anaerobic. Aerobic respiration, suppose the glucose plus oxygen gives energy. Okay, more energy. By anaerobic respiration is more energy. Anaerobic respiration, the glucose without the supply of oxygen, it is converted into lactic acid less energy is released. Bacteria, primitive organisms like bacteria and all, they carry out this anaerobic respiration. Our muscles, sometimes muscle tissues, while we are doing the exercise, oxygen, we need more oxygen, and at that time shortage of oxygen is there. During that time, this muscular cells undergo this anaerobic respiration. Okay, but that leads to fatigue of the muscle. Okay, that's why when we supply more oxygen to the tissues, you will get more energy. That energy is utilized again more and more oxygen if we need. Without the supply of oxygen, only the muscular tissue can carry out only for certain time, certain period is anaerobic respiration. So what is aerobic respiration? What is anaerobic respiration? Aerobic respiration takes place with the help of atmospheric oxygen. Anaerobic respiration takes place without the supply of oxygen. Okay. The next one is now we are seeing how this air is going in, how the oxygen is absorbed by the RBC, and this oxygen is supplied to the tissue. Okay, the food is stored in the tissue, that is oxidized. Energy is released. What happened to the energy? The cells, each and every cell requires energy. Each and every tissue requires energy. Each and every organ system requires energy to do their work. Okay, function. So this energy is stored in mitochondria as ATP, adenosine triphosphate, energy molecule. The energy molecules are called adenosine triphosphate. They are stored in the mitochondria. That is why mitochondria is called as powerhouse of the cell. So whenever the cell requires energy, the mitochondria release ATP. Okay. So they are storing, our body is, each and every cell is storing this energy and spending. They know they have to store and spend. Do you know that you must save and spend? Yes. Whatever we get, we have to keep, save and spend little by little. Okay. So this is how this respiration takes place. First breathing, then respiration. Okay, so how can we prove that we need this system, we need oxygen to get energy? Simply if we say we need oxygen to get energy, if we eat food, that is enough, we will get energy. That's what you are thinking, no? But we need oxygen also. Now you know, no? Only with the help of oxygen, we will get energy from the food. Okay, if we keep two persons in a different room, one room is very small, like a lift, that much space amazing, and another room is very big, spacious, and that person, both are provided with food, all the facilities and food. Okay, so the person one who lives in the very small room, as long as the oxygen is there in that room, he will survive, even if he eat plenty of food also. Okay, so once the oxygen is exhausted, it is not there, everything is utilized by him, because the room is very small, he will get suffocated, he will faint, then he will die. Why I am telling die? Because the brain tissue, already told you, our brain tissue cannot survive without the supply of oxygen more than 6 minutes. Okay, the person one who is living in the big room, even if you don't provide him food also, he will survive, he won't faint. For about 2 or 3 days he will survive. How fasting, how we are surviving? Fasting, we are not eating food, no? How we are surviving? Why we are not fainting? The food that has been stored in the tissue already, it is oxidized by the oxygen from the air. Then energy is released. Okay. So in this lesson we have seen what is respiratory system, what is respiration, what is breathing, how breathing takes place, how respiration takes place. Okay. Why we need this oxygen? Then next we are going to see how to protect the system. The system is very important, no, to survive. Respiratory system is very important. How to protect our respiratory system? What are the problems we have in this respiratory system? What are the problems that we will expect from the respiratory system? How to protect it? How to avoid it? How to protect our respiratory system? We are going to see in the next class. Okay. Bye.